or opinions expressed on Ann Arbor Inclusive do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the City of Ann Arbor and the Commission on Disability Issues. For more information about the Ann Arbor Commission on Disability Issues, please visit a2gov.org/disability resources.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Ann Arbor Inclusive. I'm Zach Damon. We have a wonderful show for you today as Katie Williams, school psychologist and local disability advocate, joins us in studio. So Katie, let's get things rolling. First of all, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. It's our pleasure. But the first question I had for you is, what is a school psychologist and what does the position involve?
I think that the school psychologist is in the unique position to be able to help students be successful and also help teachers learn how to teach the students the best way that they know. We also look at not just academics, we look at emotional, behavioral.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
To make sure that the students are able to produce or show us their best.
Sure.
Their best.
I mean, so would you say that the emotional well-being of a student also is very connected to their academic success?
Of course.
Yeah.
I think if a student comes in who's depressed or has mental difficulties,
yeah,
then it's going to be hard for them to get through the day, and let alone think about academics when they have depression or anxiety or other issues such as that.
Yeah. Now, are they generally common within the disabled student population or not?
I don't think that we look. I think that my job is looking at a student to determine whether they do have a disability under the IDA, the rules of whether the student does qualify or does not qualify.
Right.
And so I think that when we're looking at why a student is not performing, we're trying to figure out, okay, we look at academics. He can do the academics.
Right.
Okay, we're looking at his IQ. Yes, his IQ. What else is going on that's showing us that even though he has the potential,
right,
he's not showing his potential. And then that way we may look into doing a screener on depression and anxiety.
Okay.
To see if those levels are higher, and then see if they could qualify for emotional impairment.
Sure. So you're saying you look for the signs, in that student in their academic work and say, okay, here are the signs. Let's get those addressed and let's get those taken care of.
I think we're trying to figure out why the student is not able to perform.
Sure.
Why the student is not succeeding,
Right.
And trying to figure out how to help them become more successful in the school setting.
Well, and I think that help is definitely tremendous and needed. The other question I have for you, because I was wondering, I mean, you're a school psychologist, but what grade level what does a school psychologist generally work under?
Well, usually a school psychologist is at more than one school. So usually the minimum 2 to 3 schools, and they travel to each school to assess the students. I've worked in anywhere from K through 26.
Okay.
The post-high school.
Sure.
So I have experience in all settings.
Okay. Well, no, that's great. So it's not just, dealing with university students, but the entire spectrum of levels of academics. And, that has to be something that not only is very rewarding for yourself, but also for the student. And, of course, aside from being a school psychologist, you're also a big disability advocate for students with disabilities. But I'd like to know, in your own words, why is this important to you?
I have a disability. When I was born, there's complications at birth, and so I have mild cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy can go from mild to severe, where severe you're not able to talk or be able to move motorically.
Right.
So there's a wheelchair. And at that time, in 1976, the doctors did tell their parents that I wouldn't be able to walk.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They said that?
Yes.
Wow.
And but that was what they knew at that time. They didn't know what success. Early on, intervention was just started at that time.
Sure.
So they did recommend, because I was having failure to thrive, that I would be placed in a institution
Oh,
for the
wow.
first year.
Okay.
And I was there to help medically, and my mom and dad decided to take me out and try to do early intervention in the home,
Yeah.
which included, speech and physical
Yep.
and occupational therapy.
Right.
So I feel like ever since then, as I'm growing up, I really looked around at other minority groups and realized that they had a voice.
Sure.
And I really felt like the individuals with disabilities who don't necessarily have a voice,
Yeah.
they require their caregivers, siblings, to talk for them.
Right.
So I felt like since I'm in this unique position where I do, and I have a voice, that I'm going to use it so that I can say my story and say, just because you're diagnosed with one thing doesn't mean that you won't be able to achieve your dreams, your hopes.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, just because, a doctor tells you in 1976 that you're not going to be able to walk, and also that, you should be institutionalized because you're not showing the intellectual capacity at that time. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, so your story really says to me just how important family support is. I mean, would you say that your mother and father, were a huge, huge factor in that success?
Yeah, my parents were amazing, just amazing individuals. And I had an older brother, and I had a younger sister who's 2 years younger than I am. And I feel like those milestones, because I was delayed, my sister and I did those milestones together.
Yeah.
We were, we rode two at the same time, all those walking at the same time. I think those milestones, because I had her and as like a role model,
Sure.
that we could grow together.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of, parents and how important they are, you yourself are a mother.
Yes, I
And
am.
so can you talk about the interesting dynamic of being a parent that has a disability, but yet your children, they're not affected by cerebral palsy at all?
No.
So can you talk about that?
My children are 9 and 6. Two beautiful girls.
Yeah.
And they are normal, average children. I
Yeah.
mean, they're above average, so that's just me.
Troublemakers?
Yeah, no, actually, my eldest one is very rule-minded. She likes to follow the rules.
Oh, there we go.
One,
Okay.
my young one is a little more challenging.
Okay.
She's a little bit like me, kind
Yeah.
of, pushing the boundaries. Doesn't like to be told no.
Yeah.
So I think that the main thing is I'm really involved in their schools. I am in the classrooms. I know their kids, and they do have questions like, why do you talk funny? Why do you walk differently? And I like to be very honest with them. Children are very, they're not going to hide how they feel.
Sure.
And they're very accepting. So I just say, oh, I was born this way, just like you're born from here.
Right.
I was born with my voice, and they're very much like, oh, okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
I think the other thing about being a parent is that I try to do lots of different activities with my girls.
Right.
And we go ice skating, roller skating, we
Wow.
go downhill skiing.
Oh, my goodness.
And I show them that even though I'll never be the best, and sometimes, a lot of times I fall, and for ice skating I use a little walker, but
Sure.
I'm not going to sit back and not do those activities. And I think that shows them that you don't have to be the best.
Right.
You don't have to win the race, but just getting out there, trying and having fun, and trying something new. It can be scary, but you shouldn't not try because you're afraid that you're not going to be good at it. I think that's the biggest thing that I show my children is that
Yeah.
if something comes out, oh, let's try this, and they're like, oh, okay, let's try it. And you can laugh at me while I try.
Sure.
And we do a lot of that where let's go ice skating and let's try it and have fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and you talk a lot about keeping your sense of humor, and I definitely believe in that myself. I think, everybody has to keep a sense of humor about who they are and their faults and also their positives, because I feel like, if none of us kept our sense of humor, we'd all end up in the loony bin.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
yeah, but again, I think it's a tremendous thing that you are such a dedicated mother and continue to be the best parent that you can be. And one question I had for you, being a parent, I mean, of course, as people with disabilities, there's a lot of us that aspire to have families, that aspire to, you know, get married and have children. So what advice do you have for them?
I think that, I mean, growing up, I didn't know if I'd find someone that would be accepting, but my husband saw me for who I am and looked beyond my disability and has encouraged me and has supported me every step of the way.
Sure.
And I think that if you look at yourself as who you are,
Right.
I mean, I'm not Katie with this disability, I'm
That's
Katie.
right.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
I have my faults, I have my great things, and I think that, so it is possible to find someone, just as it's possible for anyone
Right.
to find someone that you can live with, that you can grow with, that you can be a partner with.
Right. Well, and I think you bring up a great point too, that a disability is a part of who someone is. It's not, you know, what they are or what defines them. And even in parenting, right? It's a part and a facet of a parent and who you are, but it doesn't define who you are as a parent, right?
Yeah.
All it is, it's another dynamic. And do you find that you're able to educate your children about disability by having one?
You know, it's funny because my daughter's school had like a disability awareness day, and I told my daughter that I was going to go and talk there. And she kind of stopped and she said, "But you don't have a disability."
Is that
and
right?
I said, and I had to stop, and I was like, "Well, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I've talked about it." But she had knows me as her mother and doesn't see that. It was very hard for her to mentally, you know, think, well, disability, wheelchair, you know, my mom is in a corner. So we talked about a lot about how disability just means that it's something that is a part of me, and
Yeah.
not, you know, just like she has trouble with something, that, you know, doing math, it's just a part of her. It doesn't mean that's who she is.
That's right. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a characteristic. Just like I have dark hair, you know, you have CP, and yeah, it's a characteristic of who someone is. I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
But moving forward, if we can, just going back to academics, you attended Kalamazoo College from '95 to 1999 and received a bachelor's in psychology, and then also attended Western Michigan University from 2001 to 2003 and received an EDS certification in psychology. So I'm really interested. What challenges did you face in higher education, and how did you overcome them?
I think the hardest part was being an advocate for myself. That's not easy.
Yeah.
When you're an 18, 19-year-old kid, it's hard to say, this is what I need. So when I was a freshman at K College, I had to go to the student service department and say, I have a disability, I need these accommodations.
Sure.
And they did write up in a letter to be sent to the professors, and they were sent every semester to my new professors. But then it was my duty to go to my professors
Got it.
and ask for those accommodations.
Yes.
And to let them know. And it was really hard
Yes.
to say, this is what I need.
Yeah.
And I think that when I talk to high school kids right now, I tell them that it's not easy, but they need to practice now in high school. They need to say, well, yes, I need this test written, you know, read to me. I need this. I need quiet face
Sure.
to take this test. I have ADHD. I need quiet face. And when they practice it, it becomes easier and easier, because when in college you get there, sometimes the professors come in 2 minutes before class and they leave right after class.
Yep.
So it's up to you to find that time to go in and say, I need these accommodations. So I think that was the most difficult part was, and I did take one class and I did not ask for accommodations because I didn't feel comfortable.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
And the grade reflected it. And I realized, looking at the grade, that, man,
Yeah.
I knew the information. I did not have the stamina to actually finish the exams. Like,
Sure.
I was writing in my hand, would get so tired, and I couldn't get all the information down. And so my professor didn't know that I knew all the information.
Right.
So from that, I learned a big lesson that I needed that accommodation to show the professors that I understood, and I learned the material that was being taught to me.
Wonderful. And Katie, I mean, thank you so much, because I think you touch on a topic that's extremely important. You're saying that academic success for students with disabilities starts early. Advocate for yourself in high school. You know, get over those social anxieties, get over those social fears, and start advocating for what you need. So that way, if you do have the aspirations to go into higher education, then you can go to the wonderful you know, Students for Disability Services office at the University of Michigan, or the wonderful Students for Disability offices all around the country at universities, and already be aware of that, already be able to advocate for yourself to do well.
And I think it's wonderful to have parents to advocate for you. That should be your number one advocate,
Right.
parents. However, if you can try those with your parent support, try those on your own early, then it becomes a lot easier later on, because you know, your parents are always going to be there, but not when you're in college.
Well, exactly. I feel like once you hit sort of that college campus, you know, and you're 18 years old, 19 years old, you're an adult in the academic world, right?
Yes.
So a lot of times with policies, procedures, they won't even talk to your parents about your academic situations unless you give them permission to do so. So that's another thing I think you know, younger students hopefully can understand, is that if, as you said, if you start early in high school to advocate for yourself academically for what you need, and then carry that over into the you know, college and higher education setting, that can really be a tremendous benefit for your academic success.
And know that it's not easy.
Right.
It really is something that it takes practice.
Oh, yeah.
Doing, so.
Yeah. I mean, and I have a question for you, too. I mean, what do you have to say? Because there's a social stigma for students that receive, you know, academic accommodations, right, that have disabilities and receive those academic accommodations. You know, again, whether it's that at UM or whether it's at another higher education institution. So what do you have to say to that? I mean, what are some misconceptions about advocating for yourself and going into a disability services office and getting academic accommodations?
Well, I think part of it is you feel like you're cheating, or you're getting extra help, but it's not fair. And then the whole "it's not fair" thing has been brought up several times. Even, you know, when I have IEP meetings, it's, well, I don't know if we can do that accommodation because it might not be fair.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're talking about a disability, think about leveling the playing field.
Right.
So you're not trying to step up. You're trying to make it equal.
Right.
And I think that it takes a long time to actually get through that idea of, I'm not trying to get ahead, I'm not cheating, I'm just making it even.
Right, right. And, you know, I think you bring up an outstanding point. You know, it's not something where students should feel bad or self-conscious about it, because there's also confidentiality agreements, right? So if you go to a high school or if you go to a university, more often than not, they will not be able to even let others know that you're receiving the academic accommodations. The only way that a professor or a teacher would know is if it came out of your mouth and you let them know, hey, these are the academic accommodations that I'm receiving, right?
And you know, the interesting thing is that you'll find out that most of the students don't care.
Oh, is that
They're
right?
concerned about their own grades, and if they actually are able to pass their test, the test, they're not concerned about how you do in your test.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So, and I want to go back to you being a parent. I mean, so what are your hopes and dreams for your children, you know, as they get older? Do you hope that they can be advocates like yourself? Do you hope they can just do what it is that they love to do once they find their passions? I mean, what do you hope for them in the future?
My oldest daughter has said from an early age she wants to be a farmer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, there we go.
She wants to raise animals on a farm, and that is not me at all. And so I said, please make sure that there's a house that I can stay separate from the farm. But I want her to live that dream.
Yeah.
I want her to, she has a way with animals, and animals relax her and feel comfortable around her. And so I think that I want her to do what she wants to do, and not let anyone tell her that it's a silly dream, or, oh, you don't know, you know. She's been saying it since she's little, so.
There we go.
Yeah, so I said that for the younger one, too. I want her to follow whatever she wants to do.
Future agriculture major
Exactly.
in college.
Exactly, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So Yes, and I want them to be comfortable with who they are.
Right.
So that's the most important.
No,
thing.
definitely, and I have no doubt that both of your daughters will continue to have a great life, and with a great role model like yourself, I'm sure they'll be very successful. And you grew up in Livonia, but you've lived in the city of Ann Arbor now for 9 years. In your words, what do you like best about Ann Arbor?
Ann Arbor has so many things for families. It is just amazing. The Ann Arbor Summer Fest is starting tonight.
That's right.
And we're there a lot to take in the music and the kids' tent and the food. And there's just so many different things going on. And we really try to be downtown and be a part of every festival that comes up, the festivals. And there's so much to the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum. And it's been such a pleasure having my kids grow up in such a diverse, wonderful community such as Ann Arbor.
Oh, I think you said it best. Diverse community. I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
So much in this city that it offers and welcomes all people moving here and visiting with open arms. And we're very, very fortunate. Can you share one great memory you have while working as a school psychologist? Do you have one moment that sticks out to you as a student, whether there was a student success or whether there was one great memory you have? Can you share one?
I think it was recently I tested a student, and he was an older student, about 17 or 18, and he was really quiet and insecure. And when I started doing the IQ test with him, he was reluctant to give me the answers, and he had just taken the SAT.
Wow.
The day before, and I said, listen, this is not like the SATs. Just, you're not going to get penalized for wrong answers. Just feel comfortable and just tell me what you think. And if it's blue moon, give me a blue moon. Just whatever comes to your mind. I just want you to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So I feel like I worked a lot to establish a rapport.
Okay.
And after that, I went back to the school. They said, what'd you do? And I said, I don't know what I did. What did I do? They said, ever since you left, he's been talking more in school.
Really?
He's been more social.
Yeah.
He says hello. He feels more relaxed. And I said, well, I don't know if it was me or something else, but I really think I tried to tell him that don't be afraid of just giving your best answer because it could be right. Even if you think in your head, and just keep it right, just keep it right.
Yeah.
Having those negative thoughts as a student who is struggling.
Oh, right.
It's like a student, especially when they're 17 to 18, they've already had so many failures.
Right.
And they get, trampled on.
Right.
And trampled on. So when they get that high, it's like, why even bother?
Yeah.
And so giving them any confidence. Yes, you can do this. You know more than you think you know. Show me what you know. I know it's in there. And I think that's one of the best things about working with kids. It's like, I know that you have more potential there.
Yep.
So let's just try to get it out the best way that you can, either through writing or talking or drawing. Just give me some indication of the knowledge that I know you have.
Yeah. Well, and Katie, I think that is extremely tremendous. You've taken something that you have firsthand experience in, and you're able to share that knowledge and that experience and that success with others and help educate future students to be successful in higher education. And not only that, but it's a field that's completely bigger than yourself and, giving back to the future. And, I couldn't commend you more. I really admire you for that.
Thank you.
For those that are looking for a school psychologist or looking for their son or daughter to talk to someone like you and really help their son or daughter become more successful academically, how can they get a hold of you?
I think that, in order to, in their school, it's important for them to contact their resource teacher, whoever they're working directly.
Okay.
And making sure that they're getting the services that they need.
Sure.
And then they can decide whether they need to call a meeting to determine what other support staff you need to figure out what services they need.
Okay. Now, does each school have a school psychologist then, or how does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually, the district has a certain amount of school psychologists, and then they're distributed based on need.
Got it. Okay. So, with that, if you need help academically, please get a hold of your current school psychologist. And then if you need more help, seek the best in the city, Katie Williams, to go ahead and talk with your son or daughter about becoming more academically successful. So Katie, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me today. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. And I hope that you enjoyed the program, and I want to thank Katie for joining me. And as always, please be sure to tune into Ann Arbor Inclusive next month. Stay awesome, Ann Arbor.